Hello, everybody listening to the Fair Weather Podcast. Your boy 2K Suave. I am joined by Manchester United. I'm also joined by the 2023 NBA champs New York Knicks and Alex Rodriguez at the Garden.
Nah,
What's
nah.
popping, man? What's going on?
Oh man, it's a good day. Knicks are winning. Uh Spring training is officially here. Manchester United is doing things. There's still a lot of sports going on in the world, so more and more to talk about every day.
It's not really ever a really downtime. Maybe like that those few days where like the MLB is not doing anything when it's the All-Star break. That's when it gets radio silent and across the board. Like ESPN be showing like World Series of Poker and shuffleboard and
Yeah,
and
the
and
Ocho,
cornhole.
the Ocho, ESPN, the Ocho.
Yeah, but yeah, it is a fun time. It smells like spring outside. I mean, if you live in Florida, it probably smelled like spring a long time ago. But it's officially March. It's the first of the month, like Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I'm in a today at work, man. I was really feeling myself, man. I was really, I left that shit. I was like, I am that dude for real. Like I don't know, something just came over me. I've been on a high lately, so I don't know, but I'm doing well. My team, but the Sixers can't beat anybody good, and LeBron's hurt. But outside of that, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, that's rough. It's rough. We'll get into that though.
Well, yeah, we
Um,
got a jam-packed episode today. Somehow with no NFL, there's still a lot of NFL to talk. NBA starting to wind down as we get closer to the playoffs. Spring training is here. There's rule changes and all this other stuff. So a lot to get to. We're going to start with the NFL. Now, part of the best times of March to me is the NFL Combine, not because of the Combine itself, because I think some of that stuff is kind of stupid, but
I agree.
it's just I like to see something because it's hard for us to really watch every single college football game. So it's like you don't really know who so and so is from so and so school. So it's nice to see like these kids on display to see what they really got. So I'm definitely excited for this weekend coming up right now. As it stands right now, Thursday is the defensive linemen and linebackers. Friday is the defensive backs. And then quarterbacks and wide receivers and tight ends are Saturday. And then running backs and offensive linemen are on Sunday. So we'll start with you. Obviously, we pay attention to the combine a little bit. We do have mock drafts coming on along the way. So, we start to pay attention to, different situations. What first of all, out of those groupings, who are you excited to see? What are you expecting to see? What have you heard through the grapevines, etc.?
Um, I guess I'm just combines or whatever to me, man.
Yeah.
I can't say if there's anything that I'm excited to see is if Rich Eisen beats his 40 record this year. So like that's the one thing I look forward to.
No Rich Run.
But I think for me, um, you want to see the star players go. You want to see those quarterbacks that are coming out because that's obviously the hot topic. What's going to happen with the one seed and quarterback needy teams are going to be possibly sniffing around the Chicago Bears to try and trade up. So we'll see what happens there. There's 3, possibly 4 good prospects coming in and quarterbacks.
If you ask the GMs, it's probably more because they be falling in love with these quarterbacks all the time.
Yeah. And the thing about the combine for me, it's like if you look at these kids playing the games, you know who's a short shot player, who's
Yeah.
a short shot guy. But the combine can make you instantly a first round pick. You could be viewed as a day 3 pick, and then you turn some heads at the combine, and anything can happen. And for me, I have no problem with that, but I think there's a lot of hype around people that just see, and we preach this all the time, the small sample size as opposed to the whole.
Yeah.
Like you may have graded well in college and been a top tier player or a second tier player, whatever, but then it shoot up the draft board. It's just crazy just to see you do a running drill and catch a pass and block a dummy. So I get all of it, but I don't know. The combine to me is whatever. For me personally, I'm looking at what the Jets need, so I'm going to be focused there, and that's going to be on Sunday. We're probably targeting offensive linemen, so that's what I want to see. I want that kid from Ohio State, Paris Johnson. That's his name. That's the guy.
So your biggest draft needs right now is offensive linemen?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely offensive lineman.
Okay.
We're a victim of that. We're a victim of falling into that trap. We drafted Becton from Louisville
Yeah.
because he ran a 4.40. When is a lineman gonna run that
And
fast?
that's the
I
problem.
don't, and that's good for you, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy for that guy, and I personally like the kid. I think he's a team player. He holds his head up. It's unfortunate he has the injury bug attached to him, but they're sticking with him. I think we're picking up his 5th year option, which is going to be good. But obviously he's really, really heavy. He's 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So got to cut that weight. But once again, we're a victim of that fugazi, the hype around one guy. But yeah, O-line is what we're going to really, really be targeting, and then probably defensive line or a linebacker might be
Quarterback.
next. No, we're getting that in free agency. You know that already.
So speaking of quarterbacks, obviously we know who the top two are: Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, however you want to slice it and dice it. So, I'm listening to people and stuff like that. We're talking about Bryce Young's size. And then so I mean, I don't know how look at these kind of things, because obviously it's not just the running and jumping and all that stuff. They do the weight, the hand size, the all of this, height, all that stuff. So I think he's gonna come in like at 5'10" and maybe 193 or something like that. Do you think, I mean, obviously we see the tape, and that's the problem. You see the tape and look on the tape. I mean, he's the best player on the field. But do you think that a team is going to be like, I'm going to go with the bigger quarterback instead of going with someone like Bryce Young? Because all of a sudden, I'm seeing some people say Will Levis and Anthony Richardson could be the number one pick because of their size, because of their strength, and stuff like that. So, I mean, how do you look at that kind of situation?
I mean, everything is a gamble, to be honest with you. I'm not the person to be like, oh, that guy's a clear cut number one. Because last year we were saying Hutchinson, and I was telling you, no, I think that kid Walker's going to leapfrog him. I got a good feeling it's going to happen, and sure enough, it did. Nothing is really set in stone. Any player that you take is really a gamble, because we've seen Jamarcus Russell, bust, nothing happen there. So, and then you see guys like Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, who are tiny and have a great career. So I think it all comes down to the GM and how he kind of like views the team and what he wants to mold it around.
Yeah.
So I personally think don't even think about that. I see this a kid this is the way I would approach it. Does he have a winning record? Does he play for a bigger program that has to play talent in that division or that conference and things like that? What's his winning percentage? What's his interceptions? What's his passing? All of his stats as a quarterback. And then lastly, the biggest thing that I look at, because we're seeing it in Arizona, and I saw it in college as soon as the A's drafted him, and he pulled up in that Lambo and acted like, shit, I can do whatever the fuck I want mentality that only child. Look at his character.
Yep.
Look at his character. And I see from Bryce Young, perfect character.
Great
perfect
guy. Yeah.
Character.
Definitely.
Yeah, almost and it's too fresh for me to compare it, but almost Jalen Hurts-esque the way that he carries himself. I see a lot of that.
I can see that.
I see that a lot. And CJ Stroud, maybe a little bit more maturity, but I still think he's a pretty good leader overall. I think it's just growing with it, but he looks like the kind of guy that can lead a team. And the other guys, that's going to be on them. You want to gamble and take the big guy, you don't know what you're going to get. How many times have we seen 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks go in the first round?
All the time. Only one or two ever do well.
Pan out. So do your homework, GMs, and really look at character, because you can get a guy that's 6'3" and mobile, but like, does he tailor to your offense as well?
Yeah.
Is he the right guy for your team? So
So
I don't.
If you're Chicago, obviously they have the first pick. You have Justin Fields, you have Bryce Young, you have CJ Stroud. Who do you think is going to be the best out of those three alone?
Justin Fields. He's already
You
got.
think Justin Fields is going to be better than Bryce Young?
I think so. And not even at that, like it doesn't matter. We saw the slow start from him, and then we saw him pick it up real quick, and that was with nothing on that
But
offense.
he
Not a
picked it up by doing what?
running the
And
ball.
that's not sustainable.
That's
Bryce
not.
Young is going to
But
air that thing out.
it is, but what do we also talk about? Like offense is tailored to the type of quarterback. Also, he had no receivers to throw to, man. Like there was
Yeah.
nothing there. And it was a shit show at the head coaches. I think his first and second year with the Nagy, and then when we got Nagy out and got this guy in, whatever.
Eberflus.
Yeah,
A
like
defensive guy on top of that.
yeah, maybe we can get something better out of it. But I think Justin Fields is a great locker room guy. I think he's a good leader. I think he wants to be there. I think they want him there for the sustainable
He's
future.
complaining about how cold it is outside, though. Like
That's
as
just
if
kid.
it's never gonna be cold in Chicago. Like, come on
That's
now.
just kid shit. That's just kid shit. I don't got an issue with that. If he
These
was just
damn Gen
saying
Zs.
if he was if he was, and he's also young. He's like as young as I think Levis. I think he's just as old as he is. So
Well,
he's
Levis is
already
kind of old. That's
is, but I mean, for that, the kids got NFL experience now.
yeah,
So I'd rather the experience and know what I have as opposed to taking the gamble once again.
yeah.
If I'm Chicago, and we talked about this in the last episode, I'm trading down because somebody is hungry and
Of
licking at the
course.
chops to try and get that one pick. And I'm stacking up everything I can from them just to move up one or two picks.
You know
And
what
I'm
I'm
not
hoping?
going far. I am not going far. I'm
Yeah.
going to 3, 4 for the lowest.
You know what I'm hoping? As a 10th, we got the 10th pick from the Saints, right? You know me, Howie Roseman. I'll put my faith into him now because he's proven me that he can actually do it. So obviously, this kid Anthony Richardson, the GMs are madly in love with him. And then there's all these nerds who are madly in love with Will Levis, right? But there's also very good defensive talent in that top 10 too. So my hope is that if Levis or Anthony Richardson are still there at 10, there's a what do you say? There's a dummy born every day or whatever it is. I hope somebody is willing to give up a king's ransom to come up to 10 and go get him. Because that to me would be the ideal situation because I mean there's gonna be somebody drafting Will Anderson. There's gonna be Christian Gonzalez, the corner. There's gonna be offensive line. You know how it is. There's always gonna be more than just quarterbacks taken in the top 10. So my hope is that one of these kids make it to us where we're like, all right, man, y'all want the 10th pick? What y'all gonna do? Because there are some teams in the 20s that need quarterbacks as well. I mean, anyway, we don't know what the Saints are, I mean, not the Saints, the Seahawks are going to do because there's a chance they might want to draft a quarterback. I don't know what's going on with Geno. But this Anthony Richardson thing is started to like really get some traction. So we're going to see, through maybe pro day, combine, whatever he decides to do, is if Anthony Richardson, because they're comparing him to like a Josh Allen or a Cam Newton, a big physical specimen with all the arm strength in the world that just needs to be molded. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting, I guess, but like he needs to be molded. Whereas like Bryce Young is already ready to go. CJ Stroud looks like he's already ready to go. So I don't know. It's a really weird dichotomy, but I mean, I can see what they're talking about with Anthony Richardson. I mean, he's like a big kid. He just cannot. He's inaccurate.
Accurate. Yeah, exactly.
But they said the same thing about Josh Allen. But you know how you feel about Josh Allen. It's not like he's done anything yet in NFL for real. They said the same thing about Sam Darnold. He was inaccurate in college. He's not panning out as an accurate quarterback either. So inaccuracy, Carson Wentz, inaccurate in college, is follow him to the NFL. Like inaccuracy doesn't just magically go away. It's like if you're a risk taker, you're a risk taker, and it's how good your team is to overcome some of those risks, and how good you are as a quarterback to have like a short term memory and overcome that as well. So we'll see with Anthony Richardson. I'm not really sure about Levis. I don't. That one I don't. I don't know. I'm out on that one. But if you're an NFL team, so like you're a team, for example, Would you rather? Let's say from like pick 10 to like 25, right? Would you rather go after one of these veteran quarterbacks, or are you gonna look at this pool like, I think there might be something here?
Um, I mean, with my team, the route we're going veteran. But and my GM put on a master class last year too. He traded back into the first round and got 3 picks in the first round.
Yep.
So, uh, it, there's in my mind only 2 good quarterbacks in this draft, and it depends on how long your quarterback drought has been. For me, if your drought has been a long time, and you're looking to make that move, and you think one of these guys can be the answer,
Yeah.
I mean, take the gamble. But if there's a sure shot player like a Will Anderson or some other guy, Bijan Robinson, that's there, like, you got to take these guys if that's what you need.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks can wait. We see, and this is about like every other like position too, except for like the defensive linemen. The defensive linemen and the offensive linemen, it's sure shot like down the line most of the time.
Yeah.
But like quarterbacks and running backs, you can get them later on, and most of the time, a lot of them end up panning out and either being a bridge quarterback or a guy that goes around and bounces around from team to team, but still has life in the NFL. But I mean, personally, I'm only drafting a quarterback if I'm sitting pretty and I know he's there, and nobody else around me is like coveting because I got him right there where I want him.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm doing it. But like I always say, there's always some idiot in the room that's like, this guy's a sure shot.
One of those nerds.
If we don't draft him, we're fucking stupid. And look what happens. Doesn't pan out. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Now looking at some of these rumors from like real NFL players now, we've been talking about Lamar Jackson for a few weeks now. He's yet to be franchise tagged. Now the Falcons have released Marcus Mariota as expected. We don't really know how much they love Desmond Ridder, but Vegas all of a sudden loves Atlanta as a team that could pick him up. They also like Carolina as well, and then Baltimore's like third according to Vegas. You think it's possible that, because again, the GM came out again today and said, "Look, we want Lamar Jackson. We're going to try to sign him before Tuesday, or whatever." You think he's just blowing smoke, trying to raise the price, or you think Atlanta or Carolina really has a chance to go get Lamar Jackson?
I don't think Lamar's leaving. I think this is like they're up late nights doing this shit, and Lamar's at the club just like literally picking up his phone saying, "Oh, how much?" and then hanging up, playing that.
That's the problem though, because they're not that close with the money. I don't know.
100 mil off.
That does not grow on trees. So
that was reported last week. We don't know where they're at now. So I don't think he leaves, man. I really don't think he leaves. And if it is blowing smoke, then it's a good GM. Raise that price for the boy. So we'll see.
If they get rid of him, I mean, they turn into Tyler Huntley or whatever his name, Huntley. Is that the option?
That would have to be the option, I would think, or sign a veteran in the off season.
I don't know, man. That's just
the way that offense is tailored right now is for Huntley. It is tailored for a Huntley style quarterback.
A Lamar style quarterback.
Exactly. Will Lamar, if Lamar were to leave, yeah. So Huntley is like a C grade version of Lamar Jackson. So that would a C. I would say a C.
That's kind.
That is very kind. That is very kind because he made a Pro Bowl.
He made a Pro Bowl and
because nobody wanted to play.
I don't be understanding this stuff. All right. What other stuff has been going on?
Jalen Carter, bro. That's a big one right now.
Oh, yeah. Going back to the draft. So if you haven't heard, Jalen Carter has a warrant out for his arrest. Involving the crash that killed one of his teammates back in January, right after they won a championship.
And assistant coach.
No, she was like one of the recruiters, like she was like one of the player personnel people. And she was dating the player as well, actually. But besides the point. he was speeding and blah blah blah. Like they
They
were
were
racing.
racing each other. They were racing each other.
Yeah,
That
they
was
were
the
racing. They were in a Ford Expedition in a Jeep. Well, how the hell are you racing in an Expedition in a Jeep? First of all, I forgot whose blood alcohol level was high, but it was 0.197. Uh, that's just crazy. And I know people have been talking about it the last couple of weeks that there might be some character issues with him. But now we figure out what the character thing is. Do you think that's going to be big enough to drop him? Because he's a top 3, 4 kind of pick player right now. You think that's going to be enough to drop him past? I mean, these things can really ruin someone's draft trajectory. But you think it's capable for him?
It could, but then there's teams like the Raiders and the Cowboys that'll take him, no problem. So, I'm, I'm spitting facts here,
You're not
man.
lying, because I saw a meme. I saw somebody not a meme, but I saw like a tweet talking about Jalen Carter. I read the comments, and a Cowboy fan was like, "Damn, Jerry Jones did it again." He had Jalen Carter in a Cowboys jersey already. I was like, "Wow."
It could, yeah. I think it's bad for his brand right now. That's not a good thing to have over your head. That it's been quiet, and shame on like the investigators to have it come up now during the draft.
But there's a reason. There's a reason. Yeah, they know what the hell they're doing.
They are, but at the same time, it's like when it was a national championship. That was it.
First week of January. Oh, yeah, January 10th. My mom's birthday, January 10th.
So this is moments before this kid's life can change at an all-time level right now. So I don't know. I'm not gonna get into litigation.
But the problem is that he still did what he did. So if it came out January, February, or August, he still did what he did.
He did do what he did, that's for sure. But it could either hurt him or he could stay where he's at. I mean, that's the reality of everything. And my personal opinion, I need to know more information about this before I draft this kid. And I've told you, I'm the kind of guy that looks at character. I look at character. If the kid is dumb as rocks and like doesn't seem to care or doesn't want to participate in anything, I'm getting red flags already right there and then. Yeah, I'm getting red flags to why he's not participating in a lot of stuff.
A lot of those Georgia kids have had like a shaky little track record since they've been like, Alabama, like you see, like their player. The worst thing they do is gamble. Calvin Ridley. That's the worst story I've heard from an Alabama football player. Basketball player. That's another thing. What's his name? Brandon Miller or whatever.
Yeah.
But what's worse though? Brandon Miller giving a gun to somebody who ends up using the gun to kill somebody, or you're racing. Like, I don't know which one is worse, but Brandon Miller is still allowed to play. He's still going to be a top 5 draft pick, probably, the way people are talking about it. So I don't know. It's at the end of the day, talent is going to outweigh so many things. And like you said, the Cowboys don't give a shit. They're going to draft them. The Raiders never give a shit. They're going to draft them. Plain and simple. So if it's not one of these top teams in the top 5, you know who's coming for those players, right? So
yeah, some team will see him fall and they'll be like, "Fuck, why is he there?" Yeah. And they'll take him, and it'll be a steal. And that's what it's like. Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons had character issues. He was supposed to be a top 3 pick, and he slid. He slid to what, 10, 12, whatever it was.
Micah had character issues for real?
He had character issues coming into the combine.
I didn't even know that. He seemed like a good kid to me.
he does, yeah. But there was something at Penn State where some kind of altercation. I remember seeing it. I was like, man, if this kid slides, like whoever gets him is going to be they're going to be sitting pretty, because this kid should go like 1, 2, or 3.
Thanks in my book.
Yeah. Man. So
Cowboys did it again.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. And it goes to my 2 favorite sayings. One, Sammy told me, play stupid games, win stupid prizes for you. Yeah. Like that's where Carter's sitting right now. And then not my circus, not my monkey. So
my bad. It's Brandon Miller. I think I said Brandon Miller. But anyway, continue.
Not my circus, not my monkeys, man. Like I don't got to worry about this shit because I don't give a fuck. So
yeah, I feel that. It's just, she's like, you don't want these stories
because you want the best for these kids.
Exactly, because their lives are literally about to change forever. Mind you, I mean, they got NIL money now, so they've been making a little bit of money, but they're about to get like real money. They're about to be on real like Sunday. I mean, no, when you start playing football at a young age, or any kind of sport at a young age, and your dream is to finally make it to the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, whatever. You don't want something stupid that you did in college to ruin that dream. And we see it time and time again. I mean, Len Bias should have been one of the greatest players of all time. You know, he passed away after his draft night.
We see shit like this all the time at the draft. Like,
yeah,
people start doing their homework and digging up stuff. It's like
they know everything.
Josh Allen, I guess, used to say the N-word all over fucking Twitter. Like,
they know everything. The Twitter police know everything. I forgot who it was, but like they said they were asking questions about like the drug dealer on the block. Like they knew the drug dealer on the block. They knew who he was selling. Like they know everything. Like they don't play around. So it's gonna come up.
They ask stupid questions too, like stuff about homosexuality and
they're trying to get a rise and see how they react.
Yeah, exactly. So character issues once again. So I don't know, man. It's unfortunate. I wish the kid the best. I hope things pan out the right way.
Yeah.
But I gotta know more because like CNN's covering it. Everybody's covering it.
CNN was on it too?
CNN was on it. MSNBC was on it. Fox News, you know them. They're probably butchering.
They do. That was the leading story. Young black man from the University of Georgia.
Yeah. Between that and the guy that killed his wife and kids, and now Jalen Carter now. So,
yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Some cuts that have happened so far. Carson Wentz, boy, that dude, man. Like I can't make fun of like, yo, it's crazy. As a Philadelphia guy, I've literally watched the complete rise and dismantling of Carson Wentz and Ben Simmons. Like, these are things that like honestly blow my mind because, Carson Wentz had all this momentum during that season when he was about to go win the MVP. We won the Super Bowl under Nick Foles, but like his stuff was starting to build. I mean, he was the number 2 pick, and literally one injury probably changed his life for the worse. And he's not even injured anymore, but he hasn't been able to recover from that. Same thing with Ben Simmons. Like, one not dunking the ball when Trae Young was under you has ruined his whole life, and it's crazy. But who do you think would go after a Carson Wentz? Because I know you were talking about it last week with your boy Douglas. I mean, I don't know if y'all go that direction, but
I hope not. I really hope not.
Is there a career left for Carson Wentz? Does he need to like go to the XFL or something?
No, there's a career for him, I think, but he's gonna have to be a backup and want to play for it. He's gonna have to take like that Andy Dalton role now. Andy Dalton has finessed that where he goes and become a backup, and the guy gets hurt, and then in steps Andy Dalton a few games. So
yeah,
that's the role Carson Wentz is going to have to take.
So
now.
Like what Baker Mayfield's about to become, basically.
Basically, unless the Bucks get him and he leapfrogs Kyle Trask. So
I heard that was a thing too, but we'll see.
I think I see Carson Wentz either going to Tampa Bay, or New Orleans if they're not able to get what's his face, Derek Carr.
Imagine New Orleans has Jameis Winston and Carson Wentz, 2 failed.
Jameis is done. They're cutting Jameis.
That's crazy. We're just talking about the quarterback class, right? Look at all the top few quarterbacks over the last years. Your boy, Zach Wilson. Andrew Luck's already retired at 29. RG3 never could become what he's supposed to come. Jameis Winston, obviously, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff is made the Super Bowl and they still sent him to Detroit. Detroit is like, we might drop the quarterback still. Like, it's crazy. Like, there's no science in this quarterback thing. Sometimes it's where you're drafted, but sometimes you just don't have it. Honestly, you're not that guy. So I don't know, man. It's really wild to me to just see this all the time. It happens every single year, and every year during this time of year, they're talking about this quarterback, that quarterback, this quarterback, that quarterback. When in reality, there's only probably one that's always going to make it, and then one that might come out of nowhere, and maybe the other one's average for his career. And that's kind of like what we're starting to see a trend of. So that's why I always get like all these people willing to trade their whole like the 49ers. They traded all their draft picks to go get what's his name?
Lance.
The dude, what's his name?
Trey Lance.
Yeah, Trey Lance. Only for him to only play a couple of games. And it's like now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place because Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo and Tom Brady, and it's like they're all over the place and they have Trey Lance there. So it's just, I don't know. But and then keeping the quarterback carousel going, the Batman himself, Aaron Rodgers, out of his darkness retreat. And out of his retreat, this was his determination. He spent all this time to say, I can either retire or come back. What the hell was the point of the retreat then? Like, what was uncovered? What do you think he's staying? I think he's staying with Green Bay. I don't foresee him going to the Raiders. He has $60 million coming to him next year.
I was following the Raiders beat writer, and he said that the Raiders will not pursue Aaron Rodgers. So we can dead that now.
Okay.
I think that the window and the want for Aaron Rodgers is very small. I think there are only two teams that really want Aaron Rodgers, and that's either the Jets or the Green Bay Packers.
I don't think the Jets are going to do it. You know why? Because to get an Aaron Rodgers, it costs draft picks. To get a Derek Carr, it just costs money. That's it. I would much rather spend the money than waste draft picks on a 38, 39-year-old quarterback. I'm sorry, who might retire in the middle of the year. Who like you never know with him, right? So
I know. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. But there is a winning caliber with this quarterback too. So you have to look at what you want to do here. Trust me, I'm with you on the same thing. Like, I love Aaron Rodgers, and if this was Aaron Rodgers like maybe 3 years ago, I'd pull the trigger immediately for it.
Yeah.
But at this stage and what he does and how he carries himself and the annoyance and the drama that comes with it, it's too much. And we already have to deal with one problem in the locker room, and that's our second overall pick, who nobody wants to be there, but we still have faith in him. He's gonna bounce back. I would literally settle with Derek Carr. I would be okay with Derek Carr. I would also try and trade for Lamar Jackson if we could, but that's neither here or there. But I think when it's all said and done, and they're saying this is going to happen soon. That's what I'm reading from the beat writers and ESPN and Bleacher Report and a lot of guys out there that are talking about it, that the decision on Aaron Rodgers is going to come very, very soon. Like most likely end of this week, it should be done.
And it'll be coming from Aaron Rodgers, because at the end of the day, all this stuff that's been like Derek Carr and all these other quarterbacks that are waiting and all, free agency, they're always waiting for the big domino. That's all it takes. Once that big domino drops, floodgates open. It's like when LeBron was doing the decision. There were no moves being made until LeBron decided where he was going. Kevin Durant. Nothing's happening until Kevin Durant decides where he's going. Especially in the NFL, especially with quarterbacks, it's going to take a while when one of the top ones is available. You know what I mean? So
literally play chicken. It's playing chicken with each other. Like Derek Carr's like, you gonna sign? No, all right, pussy, I'm going first. Boom. Now make your move, and then everybody starts.
Theoretically, Derek Carr is the actual only quarterback that's a free agent. Like technically. Joe Douglas, that's his name, right, Joe? He said it in they were doing the press conference, and he laughed. I laughed when he said it, because you're asking about if they've been talking to other quarterbacks, and he talked about how much he loved Derek Carr, and he said Derek Carr is the only quarterback that we've spoken to because he's the only real free agent. Because obviously he can't say I talked to Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson or all these other people, because that would be tampering. So it was very shrewd and clever. But if I'm Derek Carr, I'm not waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make a decision. I'm like, look, if y'all want me, y'all gotta sign me today. Like, I'm not waiting on, because he might mess up the market. Like it always happens. What's his name? Deshaun Watson messed up the market for all the quarterbacks after him. Had all these people signed before him, we wouldn't be having this problem right now. You know what I mean? Like Lamar would have already signed. Kyler Murray wouldn't have cried last year. Like all the stuff that's happening now wouldn't have happened in the past. So
it's like your boy in Jacksonville fucked it up for everybody too. But
I know he helped the receivers though.
yeah, but they all started pissing and crying about shit too.
Hey, it got me AJ Brown. Thank you. Thank you, Christian Kirk. Like, I'm gonna buy a Christian Kirk jersey because he's the reason why we have AJ Brown. Dead ass. He's the sole reason why we have AJ Brown. Because once AJ Brown signed that contract, the Titans they had the money for it, and we was ready for that. So I thank you, Christian Kirk. All right, any other NFL news?
Um, I mean, the franchise tags are coming. We talked about that last
Nothing
episode.
big. I heard Daniel Jones is probably going to get franchised because they're not going to be able to work out a long-term contract for him. I wouldn't want to give him a long-term contract yet either. So I think they franchise him. I don't know what that does for the money for Saquon. Yeah, I got to look into that. But I know Daniel Jones is probably going to get franchised. I'm trying to think who else have I heard.
Kenny Golladay got cut.
Yeah, he's getting cut.
He already got cut.
Yeah, so. That's. I mean, that was.
I'm praying for.
They give him a $46 million guarantee or something like that.
Yeah, I'm praying for a bounce back. I like the guy. I thought he was a good player, and not from a fantasy purpose. I thought he was good. I just think New York wasn't a good fit for him. I thought Daniel Jones was very inaccurate, with him, and it was a whole new culture, and it didn't smell right.
Yeah, I mean,
going to prove a deal somewhere, and I want to see you ball out. Jalen Ramsey getting traded is a real thing.
I heard Detroit is a real contender for that one.
That's a big one. I was seeing who else was another one. I'm trying to remember who I saw. But I can't put my finger on it. Bobby Wagner is cut.
Yeah,
so he's agent. A Seattle reunite might happen there.
You think that's a thing?
That's what the beat writer says is like there's mutual interest between the two to bring him back. So
we kind of need a linebacker. I mean, I looked at his stats last year. I'm like, damn, he has not really fallen off. Even though the team was garbage, he still had like 170 tackles and shit like that. Oh my god, golly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would take him on my team. We're gonna see what happens with Tony Pollard and Zeke. We're gonna see what happens with Josh Jacobs. I mean, that was another one I'm confused about. I actually wrote down some players too. Robert Woods, Juju. Juju is technically a free agent too. I think he's an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders is available to anybody who wants a running back. I mean, there's a lot of this. There's talent. I mean, there's going to be a lot of movement this offseason. I can already see it because a lot of teams need quarterbacks, whether it's drafting or veterans. Garoppolo, Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson, theoretically. Somebody might want a Carson Wentz. Somebody might want a Geno Smith if he doesn't resign with the Seahawks. Huntley, Daniel Jones, Taylor Heineke. Or Taylor Heineke. So there could be a lot of movement, but at least I know I got my quarterback. I can't relate to y'all that have those issues. We got to pay the man, but
it sucks. I'm sitting in a good position though because we are going after good quarterbacks as opposed to dog shit like a Josh McCown bridge shit. So
going after and signing are two different things because we got to see how good of a GM he is to like once he got him in the room, can he hold on to him? Because Carolina might have something for him. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Carolina. The Saints, the roster's not that bad.
I know, but I think Joe Douglas has proven me wrong just 1 year so far. Just 1 year, but I think he's gonna get somebody. And if it's one of those three, I'm okay with it. Yeah. I'm really okay with it. But if we end up getting like a Carson Wentz, you better call my phone and make sure I'm okay, bro.
Hey, he helped draft him.
Yep, he was in the room.
Draft him. All right, my last thing on the NFL before we hop on over to the National Basketball Association. There's that people are talking about they're gonna outlaw our quarterback sneak technique of being pushed in the back by linemen or players or whatever. From when you were watching the games, obviously you saw some Eagles and you saw us do that, right? I mean, do you see that as something that's unfair?
Get good. That's all I gotta say.
Get
Get
good.
get good. Other teams get good. Like
Thank you.
be crafty, be better.
Yeah.
It's like the
Figure
shift.
out something defensively.
It's like the shift. If there's a shift put you on baseball, learn to hit the other way.
Yeah.
Like you're a professional. Like
Maybe y'all, I'm telling you, the NFL be these coaches is
when a lineman runs it in or a defensive line guy catches a touchdown, is that what are we doing?
yeah,
It's a trick play. It's a
so
trick
much
play.
crying, bro. So much crying.
And I'm not trying to say to even defend you, but you should have thought of this earlier. Like
Yeah.
it's nothing wrong with
We
that.
just so happened to figure it out, like, yo, this could work. And it's work. I mean, we had like the highest percentage of conversions on third and fourth down. I mean, of course. Sean Payton even said, look, if they don't outlaw, I'm gonna do it too. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's a copycat league. If it works, do it. Stop playing.
Wildcat.
Like, statue
Wildcat.
quarterbacks don't work anymore. So what do? Now everybody's drafting quarterbacks that can move. It works. Jalen Hurts can move and Patrick Mahomes can move. They're both in the Super Bowl. Last year, Joe Burrow can move. Matthew Stafford
could barely move.
Matthew Stafford can't move, but they figured it out. But yeah, it's I don't know. Whenever I see this stuff like with the overtime thing every year, there's always something. Oh, it's not fair. Everybody's always crying. And I don't know, it gets on my nerves. Like to me, y'all need to fix your referees and the turf before y'all start worrying about people getting pushed in the back. That's all I'm gonna say. But all right, we're gonna leave it there. Unless you got anything to add with it for football.
I got nothing else.
All right, let's get it. All right, NBA. I'm not even gonna go into what we're gonna talk about. I'm just gonna give you the floor, sir. The New York Knicks with Josh Hart finally, since Latrell Sprewell and them and Allen Houston and them, since Chris Childs and all of them.
Don't do that.
Nah, that Melo team wasn't for real. I'm sorry.
That Melo team was
that
for
Melo
real.
team wasn't for real.
That Melo team was for real.
They ran into the big bad wolf, LeBron James. I'm sorry.
Paul George wanted it more.
But listen, this is I didn't take that one seriously. The Knicks made it to the NBA Finals as the 8th seed, okay, in '99. It's been since then that I've been waiting to see New York for real come back to the league as legit, right? And they waited about 20, 30, 22 years, 23 years, whatever. The floor is yours. How are you feeling, man?
I don't feel like it's real, bro. I really don't. I really don't, because once I start falling in love with these fuckers, they go over there and fucking rip my heart out every time.
Look, they're already gonna start charging for you to watch Knicks games with MSG Plus. If that happens, y'all some snakes for that. Like for real.
Yeah, I don't give a Dolan sucks. Anyways, the state of the Knicks right now, it's the word I would use is what would be the word I would use for that? No, not even confusing. Flabbergasted. That would be the word I use.
Flabbergasted. Okay. That's your word to describe the Knicks.
These guys, I'm truly flabbergasted. Like these guys, we're young. We are a young team. We are very young, and everybody knows their role on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And Jalen Brunson came in right away and said, y'all needed a point guard for so long. Here I am. Here I am right now. And we just dumped 47 on the Nets, baby bro, in the Garden. So
baby bro, that's like little cousin.
yeah. Jalen Brunson is that dude, and big all-star snub. I'm gonna keep saying that. I'm pissed that he wasn't an all-star. Mm-hmm. Dude is a baller. And I think he's second in last second shots made. I think he's like in clutch points or something like that. I think he's second in the league in that or something like that.
Really?
Dude is legit. And I don't look at any of those stats. What I'm looking at from this point of view is that we try to put too much on RJ Barrett, and RJ Barrett is a comfortable 3 now for us. And I'm fine with that. I want to see him, get a little more into the game and score more. But, Tibbs ran his knees into the ground. So I get him slowing down.
The usual.
Yeah, but quickly off the bench, the signing of Josh Hart is what we wanted out of Cam Reddish. And for whatever reason, that homeboy didn't like him and he's gone now. He's balling in Portland. I'm happy for him. But this team, bro, they made the Boston Celtics, the Eastern Conference champions of 2022, held Jason Tatum at 12 points and got him ejected from the game.
Yeah.
Like these guys are balling, man. They are balling, and they're beating legitimate teams. They beat Cleveland. Can't think who else they beat in this stretch. We're about to be 7-0.
And you're correct. He is second.
Yeah.
100. So De'Aaron Fox is actually number one. He's having a spectacular season. 157. Jalen Brunson got 127.
But this team, I did not expect this. I told you beginning of the season, make the playoffs. Just make the playoffs. And they're looking like they want to contend. They are looking like
they're definitely gonna make the playoffs.
No, never say never.
Come on, man. Don't do that.
This is the Knicks, man. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them. But just when they won that first playoff game, that little mop top turned on a switch and made us look like we shouldn't even have been there. So I need.
And right now, y'all be playing Cleveland in the first round.
Bring them. Fuck Cleveland. Bring them. And you know what Stephen A. Smith was saying, and I don't agree with this at all. I think I do and I don't. Donovan Mitchell, it would be nice to like stick it to Donovan Mitchell and say like you could have signed here, but if the Knicks don't beat him, like everything was lost because all we had to do was give up RJ Barrett, and they didn't want to give up RJ Barrett. And I'm honestly happy they didn't give up RJ Barrett because it's working well. The three of them together work well, and we always say like the big three is dead. That's not a thing. Well, this is our big three, and it's working. And we've been able to bring in Jalen Brunson, and it's fluid. Everything is fluid, organic. It looks like he's been a Knick for a very long time. And he's just
his daddy is a coach on the team. He has to look the part.
His daddy ain't got no say. His daddy is there. His daddy's there to like coach
he's
him.
The reason why his daddy is the reason why he's a Knick. I gotta count for something.
I would say partial, but these boys, they're making me believers, and I like watching them. I want a Brunson jersey now, like so bad.
I got a already have one.
Huh?
I'm surprised you don't already have one.
Because I didn't want it to be a bust, but he's like legit.
Come on, you like them Villanova players. You know better.
I did, but I didn't get to see him enough in Dallas, and then I was like, dude, why is this kid going second round? How the distaste for this? Like, so I'm happy with them. Keep it up. I was gonna go to Miami to watch them play, but I'm gonna save it till I think March 22nd they come. So I'm gonna try and hit at that game and watch them play.
I haven't been to an NBA game this year. I gotta figure out. You know who I watched the other night, like from first quarter to the end for like the first time in a while? The Orlando Magic. Yo, the Orlando Magic, bro, they are on their way. Like they, as of right now. You said what?
A team of lottery picks.
I mean, shit. At some point, they have to come together, right? You know me. I'm all about getting the damn veteran because they have a lot of young, good talent. And Banchero, I forgot who were they playing the other night. It was Minnesota. So I forgot who it was. Banchero just took that fourth quarter over. I was like, that dude. Every time he would get the ball, I'm like, they go Carmelo right there. They go. And, no, he's so like. He is way bigger than I thought he was. I did not think he was this big as a kid. I'm like, this dude is a giant, bro. And he's really fluid. So that's a team I would look out for in the future. I mean, they're 26-36 right now. They're I don't think they're making a play in or anything like that. But I mean, I'm very impressed with them. But keeping it in the East. Obviously Milwaukee and Boston have set themselves apart as I mean, y'all can beat Boston. We can't. Philadelphia cannot beat Boston to save their life. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, they completely own us. So that's that. But at least y'all know how to do it. But anyway, do you think it's Milwaukee and Boston's conference to lose? Or do you think there's a potential of a Miami run, a Knicks run, a Cleveland run, a Philly run, something like that.
We talk about in the playoffs
In
or
playoffs, like to win the East and get to the NBA Finals.
I never count Miami out because they're a bunch of tricksters.
Yeah,
They're like just lying in the weeds, waiting to jump out and be like, "We've been here the whole time."
literally.
No matter where they're seated, no matter where they are seated.
Yeah,
I think it's for Milwaukee's to lose. To be honest with you, I
that's what,
think
yeah.
like since All-Star break, Jason Tatum has not looked the same, and
Yeah,
not
he dropped 55 points. He tired himself out.
yeah, that team just and Vic and Sammy may hear this, and whatever, guys. The officiating against the Knicks was bad. Okay, that run to that one. That's okay. I get it. Uh, Vic is really in tune with Celtics basketball, so he knows a lot. I'll give him that. Sammy is too, but I just think that the way the Celtics are playing, I don't know what it is. If Tatum is gassed or I don't have an answer for it, but Milwaukee looks fine to me. Like you said on the last episode, Chris Middleton is just getting healthier and healthier as he's eased back into his normal role. You just got Jay Crowder, a defensive threat, and Giannis is Giannis, bro. Giannis is the greatest thing for the NBA right now.
I thought that he broke his hand or whatever happened to his hand, and he was already playing against Miami. Like, I was like, bro, how did he come back so quick? Remember in the playoffs when we thought he tore his ACL, came back and won the NBA championship, scoring 50 and shit like that, bro. I'm like, yo, like, and I said in our little group chat earlier this week, I'm like, look, when LeBron retired, and it's starting to get closer to the end with him with his foot and all this stuff, but when LeBron retires, I think I'm just gonna go all in on Giannis as being my guy because he's enigmatic, he's funny, he's entertaining, he's good, obviously. I mean, he plays for Milwaukee. It's like a market that you don't ever expect to get a superstar from, but he's embraced that role so much. Like he's, I know I think it was scripted, but you talk about KD, you don't join the super team. Why don't you put a team? I thought it was funny. But I don't think, I thought that was whatever it was, whatever it was funny. But I don't know, man. Giannis, and again, Boston looks fantastic. I know I know they've been a little bit of a rut path. They're doing pretty decent right now against Cleveland, but the Bucks have won 15 games in a row. 15 games in a row. Like I think it's really sliding under the radar how dominant they've been over the last month or so, right? And right now they're playing the Orlando Magic, the aforementioned Orlando Magic. The Milwaukee Bucks have 72 points in the first half with 46 seconds to go. Now they're giving up 64, which is terrible, but they got 72 points. Like this team.
We're in the third with 97 with 6 minutes to go.
Bro, it's just I don't know, man. Like I look at that Milwaukee team. Like while Giannis was dealing with his stuff, Brook Lopez showed up to the party. Drew Holiday showed up to the party. Chris Middleton is starting to show up to the party.
Right, it's the right veterans, and everybody knows their role. That's the best thing is when everything is clicking. That's what makes it a good team. Nobody's like, you don't have a Russell Westbrook in the locker room that's like I love Russ and with the Clippers, man. It's good to see him finally back. He looks like he's having fun again.
And they haven't won a game since he's been there.
They haven't won a game, exactly. And they haven't won a game, but I'm happy to see Russ happy.
But you see the difference. You know the difference when you play for the Lakers, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Cowboys. Whenever you mess up, it gets superimposed. He plays for the Clippers. They haven't won a game. His name is not trending on Twitter anymore. Like no one's giving him shit no more. Like, oh, why did Kawhi, why is Kawhi doing this? Or why is Paul George doing that? Why aren't they playing defense? But if it was the Lakers with the same exact situation, they would have been all over us. So it's like, hey, you're right. He is happier because ain't nobody asking him dumb questions anymore. Like, saying it simple.
Yeah. And he's playing with, like, I guess, Paul George and I don't know. He's still in LA. I don't know. But the Bucks, they're it's theirs to lose. It's theirs to lose. Like that team is complete. That team is good.
You don't think we got a chance?
Y'all got to pick it
Puncher's
up.
chance.
Y'all got to pick it up. Y'all got to start winning some more games, man. Trust me, I'm a big Embiid fan. You know that.
Yeah.
You know I'm a big Embiid fan. But I feel like
we beating the shit out of Miami right now, though. What's up, Miami fans? What's happening?
I just feel like your bench is just depleted. That's what I feel like.
What's
I feel like
wrong
you
with
don't
our bench?
I feel like you just got Maxey, and that's really it. Who else?
Bro, we got Shake Milton. We got Niang. We got Korkmaz. No, we don't got Korkmaz no more. We got rid of his ass. I don't know, man. I think for us, the problem is that, and remember I told you who's going to be on the hot seat for me. Doc Rivers does not know how to get the most out of these players when they play a team like Milwaukee or Boston. Like, we will beat the shit out of who's a bad team? I don't know. We haven't played a bad team in a while, by the way. Like, our schedule lately has been, well, we beat the shit out of the Rockets. There we go. Cleveland, Memphis, Boston, Miami, Miami again. Like, we've had a tough schedule. So I don't know. It's just, we don't, like, when I was watching the Super Bowl, right? And I watched the Chiefs go crazy on us in the second half. My biggest problem that I had was Gannon, our defensive coordinator, made zero adjustments in that second half. Like, he did not know how to adjust to whatever Kansas City was doing. And that's just how I feel about Doc. Like, I feel like the moment's always too big for him. Like, credit to him for winning that one championship back in 2008, 15 years ago. It's like John Gruden to me. Like, he won one championship. He was a made man. Doc Rivers won one championship. You know how many times the Clippers failed in the West when the Clippers were supposed to, like, the Lob City Clippers, like, they were supposed to be in the NBA Finals a couple times with that team. And I don't know, Doc Rivers just time and time again is just something just not clicking for him. I don't know what it is. I don't know who can take us to the top. I don't know, but it's going to come down to Embiid being healthy, James Harden playing out of his mind. Can we beat Boston? Probably not. Can we beat Milwaukee? I don't know. I feel like we have a better chance against Milwaukee. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe because I feel like when it's Milwaukee, Embiid has a counterpart that he has to play up to because Giannis is the guy, and Embiid wants to be the guy, big guy. You know what I mean? Like Tatum's, he's a wing guy. You know what I mean? Jalen Brown's a wing, so Embiid can't really be Embiid when it's the wing guys. But when he played against Jokic, he gave him like 45 and 20. You know what I mean? Like, he needs somebody to like motivate him to play a lot better. So I feel like Milwaukee would be a more fun series for me, whereas Boston, I don't think we have it. And then other teams, Cleveland, they don't have it to me. I mean, they're a good team. Y'all good, but I mean, y'all. So man, first round, if the playoffs started today, first round y'all play Cleveland, and if y'all was so happy to make it past Cleveland, then it's Milwaukee, and yeah, that's where the fun stops. So I don't know.
Get the fucking
all right, moving out west first with the number 1 seed Nuggets. So it's looking like Nikola Jokic is going to win his third straight MVP, which has only been done a couple times. Larry Bird, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bill Russell, I believe. I gotta double check that. But do you? I mean, does Nikola Jokic strike you as somebody that should be winning back-to-back MVPs?
It doesn't, because the Nuggets never can get out of like the first or second round.
But it's a regular season award. That's the problem.
But someone said stat padding. Like, he's not stat pad. He's just wants to win.
Yeah.
And goes in where he needs to do it. We just give him shit because he looks like a slob out there playing, and he doesn't look like your stereotypical basketball player. But he looks like a guy who's like 7 foot tall, who's at the playground. You're like, oh, I'll take that guy because he's tall, and he just happens to be a baller.
Yeah.
Like, kid's got game. Like, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. The kid has game. He's a good basketball player and good teammate, quiet, funny. I'd want to play with the guy,
But
but
he's not Giannis Antetokounmpo.
he's not like
That to
correct.
me is the guy. Like,
Yeah, Giannis is, but Giannis also gets hurt. This guy's never hurt. The Joker's never hurt.
yeah,
The
because
Joker is
he's
never
big
hurt.
and slow, so he can't get hurt.
He's never hurt, man. He's never hurt, man. Like I, you best availability is ability. Best ability is availability,
Only to
right?
get swept in the first round again or some bullshit like that. And that's the problem that I have. Like when Steve Nash won his back to back, yeah, I feel like Kobe got robbed one year, Shaq got robbed another year, but Steve Nash did get that team pretty. I mean, they had like 65 wins. They made it. They lost to San Antonio because of some bullshit to me. It was a fight, and then the other one, that to me, I blamed Antonio. I don't blame Steve Nash for it, but like the Nuggets have a good roster. We're looking at the Western Conference. Somehow they're a number one seed, right? But the same way I looked at those Phoenix teams, and the same way I've been looking at the Chargers for years, and the same way I'm looking at a lot of these teams that are always good regular season teams, when it comes down to having to beat a team 4 times out of 7, I don't know if I could trust the Nuggets to do that. It's just like Nikola Jokic's game is different in the playoffs because you're seeing the same team every night. So they go triple team. They gonna do whatever they have to do to make sure that he's not a factor. Whereas like in the NBA, you play like an 18-year-old on a Tuesday night, you're gonna beat his ass. You know what I mean? But in the West, you might have to play AD. You might have to play who's some other good bigs? DeAndre Ayton. You might have to play. God, who's in the West? I don't know, but I don't know. I just for him to win it again, which is starting to look like it's gonna happen. From a historical point of view. I know it was Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, and Larry Bird. He's not Larry Bird. He's not Will Chamberlain, and he's not Bill Russell. So to me, it's offensive. Like, how does Michael Jordan not have 3 straight? How does Kobe Bryant not have more than 1? How does LeBron only have 4? Like, these things always get on my nerves. And then over the last couple of years, the reason why they didn't give it to Embiid is because he didn't play enough games. Then he plays enough games. The reason why they didn't give it to Embiid is because they weren't the first. They were something else, and he was the first seed. Like they keep changing the reason why they're going to give someone the MVP, and I don't appreciate that. Like Russell Westbrook won the MVP as a 6th seed, and now they're saying, well, he wasn't. If you're not a number 1 seed, you don't deserve the MVP. That's why Nikola Jokic is getting it. I'm like, I don't agree with that. So it's just for me, it's just to him to be in a category with Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, and Larry Bird is a little offensive to me. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I mean, he has 100 triple doubles now. He's only the 6th player to do that. So that's fantastic. But I don't know, man. It's just
it sucks because it does. I feel like Embiid should have got it last year, in my personal opinion.
Robbed.
I think Embiid got robbed last year. But as of this year, I think he's the front runner in my books right now. I would give Joker? It to him. He would be mine.
And then, I mean, they're 44-19, and the Milwaukee Bucks are 44-17. They have a better record than the Nuggets. I thought it was about having the better record. If the Milwaukee Bucks finish with the best record and Giannis still doesn't get it, and he still plays the rest of this, I mean, they're on a 15-game winning streak. Like they're doing things that are like historic.
You have to take that into consideration too.
But these NBA analytic nerds don't care. Those are the ones that keep. Well, Jokic's PER is this, and his player efficiency this, and his shoot. Like they focus too much on the next level analytics rather than what do you see on the floor. If I have to pick between Giannis and Jokic, I'm taking Giannis. Every single time. Like that's just how I'm gonna. If it's a street ball game, NBA, G League, Drew League, I'm taking Giannis in every single one of those aspects. So to me, it's just a little, I'm a little offended because I feel like Embiid got robbed. I feel like Giannis is about to get robbed again, but that's besides the point. But they are the number 1 seed in the West, so.
Yeah, we'll see. There's still more basketball to play. I mean, my 3 right now, I think would be Joker, Giannis, and Embiid's up there in points. So he's 2 in the league in points per game.
Yeah, he's right? He's 2 or 3. Like I think Dame might have just overtaken him. Somebody else we got to talk about.
Dame's another one I would put in. and
listen,
that's not because I'm a super fan, but like
nah,
this.
bro. I've always been a very big fan of Dame. More and more, I'm becoming a super fan. Like more and more, I'm like, I can't believe that I had the audacity to question his greatness when they came up with that top 75 list. I don't know what was going through my mind because I was feeling bad for Dwight Howard. Now he's doing 3-point contests in Taiwan. I was feeling bad for Klay Thompson, who just hit another 13 or 14 threes in a basketball game. I was feeling bad for Kyrie, but Kyrie hasn't really done much outside of that one run in Cleveland. But so it's like I was feeling bad for all these other guys. Meanwhile, Dame has just been there all along. He just gave y'all 70, 71. And it looked easy. I don't understand how he does it, bro. It's like they can't do nothing with him. So that's another one. Like he's probably not going to ever win an MVP because he plays for the Portland Trailblazers and they're not ever going to be a top 3 seed while he's there for unless they completely revamp the roster, which is not going to happen. So but Dame, I got to give him his credit. But keeping it in the West, Memphis says, we fine in the West. They had a big win yesterday against the LeBron-less Lakers and D'Angelo's Lakers, and they talking shit. But anyway, uh, looking at some of these new additions. So we got Phoenix with Kevin Durant. We got Russ. Yeah, and they're playing a LaMelo-less Charlotte, so not really much to see there yet to actually have a true opinion of how they're doing. But we'll see. So and then we got the Luka Doncic and Kyrie show in Dallas, and then like LeBron James is going to be out for a few weeks. So starting with Phoenix, how do you think that's going to fit? Do you think they're going to be able to gel together in enough time to make a finals run?
Just pretend Kevin Durant is not there. Like, just throw him the ball when you see him on the court, but like everything else, he's not there. He just wants to hoop.
Yeah,
he's the quiet guy that wants to hoop. They are fine. They are fine.
Yeah. All right. Luka and Kyrie.
There is no bench there. Not a single fucking bench player on that team.
And they don't play defense.
And they don't play. Nope.
Do you think Luka's not happy having Kyrie there? Because I heard a stat earlier. In the fourth quarter, since those two have been together, combined. So in the fourth quarter and overtime, since those two have played together, Kyrie Irving has taken 42 shots and Luka has only taken 13. 42 to 13 in the fourth quarter. You think Luka, and now Jason Kidd all of a sudden is talking all this smack like you were young and dumb and he complains too much. And now you see why Rick Carlisle probably was like, yeah, I don't want to be here no more. So you think Luka's the problem, or you think it's a whole mess over there?
I think they panicked and they saw the opportunity and they made it. But I think Mark Cuban's going to be like, this ain't it. This is definitely not it.
And he does not guarantee any contract past this year. So it's like,
let him
walk. They just trade away all that value for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it's once again, like I said in the beginning of the show, gamble. You gamble on something. And you definitely got more offensive power out of this, but no defense. Yeah. You trade away your anchor defender in Dorian Finney-Smith. They were a piece away from being really, really good. Like I thought the Christian Wood signing in the offseason was really good.
Signing, yeah.
I like that signing a lot, but they just needed another like not superstar, but like all-star caliber player on that team to help Luka out.
I mean, look what Jalen Brunson has done for the Knicks. Like overnight success. And then look at what Josh Hart has done since he's been there. Overnight success. When you look at the Mavericks, it's Luka, Kyrie, and then hope the other guys hit shots. I mean, they blew a 27-point lead to the Lakers at home. 27-point lead. That's a sign of either immaturity, bad coaching, something. But like I look at that team and it's supposed to be Luka's team, and then now I feel like Luka's like, I
Kyrie's
don't know.
infiltrated. Kyrie's infiltrated
He
once again.
did. He did kind of infiltrate. I mean, think about it. Luka is a ball dominant player, and he likes to have the ball in his hand. But in the fourth quarter, he's only taken 13 shots combined, and Kyrie has taken 42. Like that to me, and then he tried to take the game winning shot yesterday against Indiana that they lost. It was a step back three. That's the same shot that Luka does all the time, which he's made against the Clippers, against this team, against that team. So I feel like there's gonna be. I don't think there's friction because I don't think they hate each other, but just not a fit. It's just
I
not a
don't
fit.
think it's a fit. I don't think it's a fit either.
And now they fall into seventh, which is playing game territory. So they went from a team that had a chance to win the West to playing game territory. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy. And then last, LeBron, just when I was starting to get excited, with the team, they were looking good against the Pelicans. They looked good against Golden State. D'Angelo was looking good with the team. LeBron was like, old man still balling. AD was starting to ball. Everything. What's his name? Vanderbilt. What a freaking signing. That dude is amazing, right? And then LeBron's foot said, no mas. And Father Time is knocking on the door for LeBron. I looked at the schedule. It's the fifth easiest schedule, but these next 10, 15 games are win-loss, win-loss, win-loss to me. And that was even with LeBron, it was going to be kind of tough. So do you think that loss is going to blow their chances of play-in or playoffs? Or do you think they'll be able to kind of do okay? Because look at the teams ahead of them, Portland, New Orleans, Utah, Minnesota. It's like, they're not great. So
I think they'll be able to bounce in front of those guys, to be honest with you. But AD not playing is like makes no sense to me. Like, why is AD taking a day off tonight?
He's not playing tonight?
No, like those are things that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I get load management, but now we're at a point that you got to fucking ditch that shit.
This is what Charles Barkley was talking about.
Yeah. So not having a guy like AD on the floor, that definitely hurts them a lot because AD has been balling lately.
He has, because he has to.
Yeah. But I think they'll be able to right the ship. I think they got the right role players to carry the load for a bit. Malik Beasley's been doing his thing. Jared Vanderbilt's been doing good. Hachimura's kind of like fizzled out a little bit.
He's in and out. Like tonight, he got 2 points in the third quarter. He's got 2 points.
Yeah, I think they'll get in the play-in is what they're gonna get. So,
but get in the play-in to make the playoffs, or just get in the play-in and then lose and not make the playoffs?
You got to see how long it takes for LeBron to come back. I think when LeBron there, it's a whole different story. I think LeBron is your cherry on top. That's what you need. You have to have LeBron because that guy doesn't like to lose.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me like how people like really question his greatness. Like, you really realize that this 38-year-old man is still that important to the team, where they're a completely different team without that 38-year-old man. Like, it's, to me, it continues to validate all the shit that I've been saying for the last 10 years now. Because it took me to like 2012, 2013 to be like, all right. And then 2016, I was like, oh yeah, he's there. He's definitely there. So since 2016, I've been like, all right, to me, it's 1A, 1B, and I have my reasons. And this is another example of like, bruh, he's 38 and he's still the most important player on the team. Like, how is that possible? So I think that, they got to figure that out. If they lose to OKC, that's a bad loss, because especially with AD not playing. Like, why is AD not playing? D'Angelo Russell already has a bum ankle. It's just, oh man, I don't know. The Lakers need to hire a new athletic trainer or something, because all the ankles are all effed up, bro. All the feet and ankles are been since Kobe's days. Kobe, his last 4 years, Achilles, ankles, foot. It's just been like that the whole time. So I don't know what's going on in LA, but they got to get that shit together. They got to get that shit together, man.
They do.
Anything else in the NBA?
No, I'm good. I'm good on NBA talk.
You ready for your favorite sport?
Oh yeah,
All right. So spring training is here. There's a lot of different rule changes. I'm gonna give you the floor because you are our veteran baseball analyst on the show. Take it away.
It's different. It's really different watching this now. We've seen games end in ties because of the pitch clock. We've seen guys strike out because of getting back in the batter's box in 8 seconds.
First of all, do you like that?
I could watch baseball all day. I don't give a fuck if it's slow. I love the beauty of the game, and no, I don't like it. But I get why they're doing it, and I tip my hats to all the players that are, going along with it, because this is what the league wants. They want to make more money. I get it all. They want more attendance. So
bottom of the ninth, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the batter's like, wait, hold on. But he doesn't have time to say, wait, hold on. And then they strike out, and that's how they lose the game. I mean, I'm going to probably choke out the ref like Latrell Sprewell if that of the umpire. Because to me, but there's a possibility of that happening. That's the problem.
There is. And I think it's gonna have to be taken in consideration. Like, you're gonna have to see how this goes, and if everybody is not on the same page with it, like, you're gonna have to tweak and do shit. But just like we always say, there's all those nerds that are out there looking at every stat and everything. There's gonna be that. They're gonna be looking at this. So we'll see. I don't like it. I think I don't know. I know, like, some things can get drawn out, but give guys warnings. Hey, you got your warning here, and then go from there. But this pitch clock, it's different, and games are going to be played in an hour. I feel like it's going to be quick.
And the thing about baseball, it's a routine sport. Like, you walk up to the plate and you got your routine, because that's what you've been doing since you were 5 years old doing T-ball or whatever. Whenever it works, like, baseball to me is the most superstitious of all the sports. They're the most superstitious. Pitchers, batters, doesn't matter. And now it's like they're taking away that. Like, you just got to get to the plate and be ready.
That's what makes it great, is watching, the players with their straps. Watch each row come up and line it up.
Yeah.
And then,
bro, I used to watch. I used to, as a, like, me, when I'm walking around the house, I'm either dribbling, I'm either playing quarterback and throwing a fake pass, or I'm lining up at bat and I'm doing like a cadence or whatever. Just, it's all dumb to me, but it's not dumb because it's like fun to me, because I've been watching like baseball religiously because of Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. And since 98, 99, since then, I've always been enamored by what people do when they come to the plate. Like, what is their cadence when they're getting ready to go to bat, or what's the pitcher going to do when he going up to throw a pitch? Like, I've always been enamored by that aspect of baseball. And it's like, as we get older and older, things keep changing more and more. And it's like, bro, like, I don't know, that part of the game is going to annoy me. Now, I know why. I mean, the game's been 2.5 hours. It's a lot better than 3.5 for these, people with short, attention spans. That's the problem. So I get it. You watch a World Series game that starts at 8 and ends at 12:05 a.m. I understand. It lasts. It sometimes it does last longer than it needs to, but at the same time, they're being a little bit too crazy with how they're calling everything to me. But I'm not the expert. You're the expert, so I'm gonna pass the floor back to you.
I just feel like with baseball, like under Manfred, like, there's just too much changes. They change something every year, and it's not for the better. Like, we got like the angle cams and things like that with C League and all this other stuff, but now it's, I don't know, I feel like it's a shit show with this guy, and I'm not putting the blame on him. Yeah, it's an experiment. Everything's, we're going to experiment with different balls. We're going to experiment with the pitch clock and all of this stuff. Like,
and now the plate sizes are like humongous.
And now the bigger plates, like, it's.
Who do you think this benefits more though? Like, all these changes, the offense or the defense?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I didn't
I
really
feel
think
like
of
if
that
you have a
question.
lot of speed from an offensive end, like because they can only do like the check thing like twice now, right? So once I know that he's
Yeah.
already thrown the first twice, I'm taking off. Like I already know I'm taking off because and if you have a speed guy, more than likely he's going to get to second. So to me, steals are going to be up this year. Um, and the bag is bigger, so people are going to get to plate a lot easier to me. So I feel like offense is benefiting from that.
See, the problem to me though is like I feel like that's. I mean, I know why they're fixing the time, but that's not the real problem. The real problem is like the hitters. The hitters is the real problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's guys who's like I think the MLB average this year or last year was like 240. That was like the level of every player all combined together. The average was 240. Like that's
240?
ridiculous. Yeah,
240. I
I
gotta look
think
at that.
so. It was low. It was not high. It was not over 250, I don't think. So that's what the issue in baseball to me is like they keep promoting all these bums on the team and they're not hitting the ball.
Oh man, there's a baseball almanac. I love this. So in
Mm-hmm.
18 just shits and giggles. In 1876, the average batting average was 265. Now let's go all the way down to now. This is actually really cool. 243 in 2022. The year
Told you.
before, 244.
Yeah.
What? The year before, 245. It's been trending down for a while. Since
Mm-hmm.
20, since 2018, it's been 248, 252, 245, 244, 243. It hasn't been over 257 since '09, and it was 262. It like as you go deeper, like up and up into the years, like 07, 06, 05, 269, 264, 270. Like it gets a lot better. But yeah, the hitters are. It's all about power now, though, because chicks dig a long ball.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just plain
Yeah.
and simple.
It's all, everything is foreign to me right now with this. Like I'm watching spring training and I'm watching the clock and I'm like, it's cool how they have it there for you to see.
So yeah, it's
You
big.
know,
It's big. It's big as shit. You can't miss it. So I do like that.
yeah. So it's cool to see that, but it's definitely different for me. It's going to be really really different for me and to get used to it. And if a lot of games are called because of that, because we've already had 3 minor league games that have been called because of the clock issues,
Yeah,
because of strikeouts and in the game. Think it's a walk, end of the game. Like
yeah.
all of these things, it's going
It's
to be tough.
weird,
And
bro. It's
baseball's gonna
weird.
have to, yeah, baseball's gonna have to rethink this. But stand by what you wanted and push through.
Yeah.
Got to push through it, and the players got to get used to it. But like you said, from the moment I was playing Pee Wee baseball and got to uh, high school and college, that wasn't implemented. Now I'm a professional and it's
All of a
implemented. That's
sudden,
just something
whoa,
very,
drastic change.
yeah. Mhm. It's
And
different. So then
it
it's
is
gonna
it is
now
very different. Yeah.
it might trickle down now. It might have to be like getting these kids, if this is what they stick to, these kids got to get used to it. So now it might be implemented in college and in high school and stuff like that. So they're starting to remember this and because you know how this generation is, man. If I don't, I got to see it to do it type shit. So
Yeah.
could be implemented now. So I
Yeah.
don't like it, but that's the nature of baseball right now.
And they're still trying to figure out who they want to market it around. You know what I mean? It's like because that's the other aspect of it. It's either the game product on the field gets better, or they find a few superstars that they can market the shit out of. So, you know, Tani's probably going to be leaving the Angels after this season. I thought Machado was going to be gone, and then they brought out the
Where do they
damn.
have this money? Where do they have this money in San Diego?
It's San Diego, bro. You know how much money's in San Diego? San Diego is a rich city, bro.
Dude, but San Diego's been historically bad for a long time.
Yeah, maybe sports, but the city has hella money.
Look, I know that, but I'm talking about the city and the organization are different. Like
Yeah,
Vegas made a team overnight.
Yeah.
They've made a team over. It all started when Eric Hosmer went there.
Yep.
Eric Hosmer was the first piece, and he's no longer there. But they brought in Eric Hosmer, and then Fernando Tatis, and then Machado comes, and now you've got Machado, Soto, Tatis, fucking Nelson Cruz, and an ace pitchers all on your squad. Like
they gave Darvish money this summer too. This winter, I mean, they get Darvish. They just got checks. They got checks to write and look, cool. But what has it produced? What has it produced? So who knows? I don't know what's going to happen.
A full year with Soto. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then now I'm gonna get to your team because this is something I've been thinking about. I saw the question yesterday. So obviously, you've been paying attention to the Yankees and all that stuff. So first, I wanted to get your impression of how they're looking so far. But I saw a question that I really liked the other day. I wanted to ask you, outside of Aaron Judge, who do you think is going to be your most important hitter this year? I don't know, based on where they're at in the batting lineup, based on whatever. But who do you think is going to be the most important outside of Aaron Judge batter hitter this year for your team?
That is a really good question.
Yeah, I saw that question. I was like, wow, that's really good. I like that.
I would say Stanton, but Stanton's never healthy. I think it's yeah. To me, it's LeMahieu. LeMahieu's the guy for me. I need him to be that 300 hitter that he's always, and he's always getting the hits you need. He's a pure hitter, and that's what I need him. I don't need him to be swinging for power. Just get hits, and that's the other guy that we got to have. Like, I think last year he batted 280, somewhere around there, but 300 is seeable for him, I think. Okay, but he also has to get a lot of playing time too. So,
okay, now give me a little update on the Yankees. Like, how's it looking for you?
It's spring training, man. So like, I
know, but who has you? Obviously, I'm thinking about the Dodgers just lost their shortstop from spring training. You know what I mean? So it's like. It still means something.
Yeah, the Dodgers are dumb for that, though, because you groomed that kid to be a second baseman. I know he was a shortstop by trade. You should have just left him at second and stop getting cute. Mm-hmm. We got slapped up by the Rays 12-0, but I mean, none of our big time players really played. What I'm excited to see is the farm talent, because we have a good farm team. Like this Jason Dominguez kid is going to be really, really good. And then we have this kid Volpe in the minors who's going to be one of the big name shortstops, possibly come up for the Yankees. And I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this at all. The kid is talented. He's good, but they're giving him like Derek Jeter comparisons, like leadership wise.
Chill out with that.
That's what I say. But this kid can hit for power, which is good. Jeter couldn't really hit for power. People say he was a power hitting shortstop. I don't think he was a power shortstop. He just got on base and was a good captain and a good fielder. This kid looks legit, and IFK probably won't be there too long, being our shortstop, because he's a good with the glove, but hitting, he's boring. Like he's just really boring hitter. He does hit over average, which is good, but I need like shortstop is like the most fun position in baseball.
Yeah, like center field and shortstop involved in a lot of shit.
Yeah, like you're flashy guys. So this kid looks like he's ready for the bright lights. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to a full year with Oswaldo Cabrera and the other kid that we have on the team, the other shortstop that we've converted to an outfielder. It's going to be a fun year, because the Yankees, as much shit as you want to give us for being like as good as we are, and we trade for players, we brought up a lot of kids on this team, and we've done it in the past too. We've done it in the past with the core three and Bernie Williams and all of that. We're doing it now with a lot of players here too. So if this kid Jason Dominguez gets brought up, he's got superstar written all over him, almost J-Rod-esque type of player. Oof, from what I've seen in the.
That's my dog.
My dog too. I love me some J-Rod. And this kid Volpe, man, like I'm excited to see him too. We also got a catcher in the minors too, Wells, but I like the combo we got back there. So I'm excited I'm super giddy for baseball. And shout out to Jazz Chisholm for being on the cover of the show this year. That's super cool.
We talk about marketing, right? That's like I'm a marketing guy. That's how I always think about stuff. Like I look at every sport. I'm like, how are they marketing the superstars? And Jazz is a fun player. Like he's a fun player. I mean, it sucks that he plays for.
Can't stay healthy.
It sucks, and that, but he also plays for a team that doesn't really do much. They give away all their good players, but they have won 2 World Series. So God bless him. But he's an exciting guy to watch. So I'm definitely proud of him. I mean, Tatis was exciting until he started. I don't know what's going on with him now, but like you got to keep marketing your superstars. And then with us, this dude, this kid Andrew Painter, my dog throwing like 100-mile-per-hour shit. He had Carlos Correa just looking and stuff like that. So I like him. Derek Hall, he started playing a little bit more last year at first base. I like what he can bring. And then obviously, all the offensive talent we already have. And then who we brought over from the Dodgers, Turner. And I don't know. I looked at the Vegas to see projected win totals. I think they had us 6th or 7th as far as wins. I think it was like 7th as far as win totals. I think it was like 89.5 was kind of the over under for us. Which, I mean, I could see maybe less, but I'll say probably, we're always so confusing sometimes. I don't really know what we're going to do, but the Mets the Mets are going to be fine, obviously pretty good. The Braves are still going to be obviously pretty good. So it's always going to be like, shit, we got to deal with those two a year in a year out. At least Washington is back in the dumpster fire where they belong. And then who else? And then the Marlins, I don't really fear them. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, it's still too early to call, but I like what we've been doing. I like what we've addressed. I would like to see y'all in the World Series so we can have fun. You know what I mean? And talk about that shit. Actually, maybe go to a game, but y'all be slipping, man. Y'all be slipping. I don't want to see the Astros again next year. I'm sorry.
I don't think we're going to see the Astros next year, which makes me feel good. But they did score 5 runs on the Mets in the first inning, so
can never count them out.
Yeah, you really can.
All right, any other baseball things, Mr. Resident Baseball Guy?
Still a lot of good players out there that aren't signed, so we'll see what happens with that. What else?
I forgot to say, my dog Wheeler, he got a new pitch in the arsenal now. Pitch in the arsenal. Just be on the lookout. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
just be on the lookout. Him and Nola go come back and look good again. Just so y'all know.
Yeah, Zach Wheeler's that man.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah, there's still a lot of good players that aren't going to be signed or that still aren't signed yet. So we'll see what happens there.
Barry Bonds is still not in the Hall of Fame, but we're gonna see.
Barry Bonds not in the Hall of Fame.
We're gonna see what happens there.
I really don't have anything for baseball. I think that's it for me. I'm super excited and can't wait for it, man. Season's right around the corner.
So as we get deeper into spring training, I think the season kicks off March 28th, 27th, 28th, something like that.
Into March, yeah.
Yeah, so we're about 3 weeks away. So once that shit starts, it's go time, and then we go see. Like, it's crazy. Like, to me, the years is going by really fast. First of all, I feel like we just played the Astros like a month ago. That's what it feels like. The World Series was just a month and a half ago, and it's already spring training. It's insane to me. But it's like I feel like we just drafted AJ Brown like a couple weeks ago. Now we're already in the next season. So shit's going fast. Blase. We don't really do too many fun segments anymore. And I brought it back today because I told you I woke up this morning and I chose happiness, and I'm in a good mood. I'm in a very good mood. So I'm putting you back on alert. We're not doing where did he go to college. We're playing start bench cut today. Now there's going to be NFL focused, and then another added one into there, and it's going to be draft, this, that, and the third. Okay, so are you ready? I didn't make it. I'm not making this easy. I wanted you to really think. So you ready to go?
Let's
All
go.
right.
Run it.
First one, NFL Draft Edition, quarterbacks. I didn't say Bryce Young. I didn't say C.J. Stroud because that's easy. Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, and Hendon Hooker from Tennessee. Start, bench, cut.
I'm starting Hooker. I'm benching Levis, and I'm cutting Richardson.
Ooh. Well, for me on that one, I really wanted to. I didn't know how I felt about Anthony Richardson, but I listen to all these damn GMs and they got in my head. And then I started watching.
Watch games with him, and he just.
I know. I watched the same game. I'm like, bro, I don't see why people think he's going to be a top pick. And I get it. But then again, it's not like Florida had that much talent around him. And when they started talking about, Josh Allen and Cam, I'm like, I mean, he does look the part. He can't throw, but he has a strong ass arm, like those two did as well. So I'm starting Anthony Richardson actually. Hendon Hooker's coming off of an injury, but I think he could be a steal of the draft, depending on where he ends up. So I'm gonna bench Hendon Hooker. I'm sorry, Will Levis. I just don't see it. So Will Levis he's getting the boot. He's getting the boot. So all right. NFL free agency edition, quarterbacks again. Derek Carr, Geno Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oof.
I know, bro. I'm with it today.
I am starting Jimmy Garoppolo because of his track record, man. You can't.
All he does is win. DJ Khaled.
Exactly. I am benching Derek Carr and I'm cutting Geno Smith.
Damn,
and I heard
you still got no love for Geno?
No, it's not that. It's just because the caliber player. Geno Smith hasn't done anything.
And these questions I'm asking not career, moving forward. Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
And then let me switch that up.
Okay.
I'm starting Derek Carr. I'm benching Jimmy Garoppolo and I'm cutting Geno Smith.
Okay. I'm starting Geno because they try to write him off and he still ain't right back yet. He had the highest completion percentage last year. Highest. I mean, out of nowhere, highest. So that counts for something for me. And I don't really have much love for Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo like the whole world does. I'm benching Derek Carr though because to me he's a leader, and somebody I would love, to follow if that was the case. You know what I mean? And then Jimmy Garoppolo, he gets hurt too much for my liking. Team Tampa Bay is probably gonna pick him up, and he's only gonna play 9-10 games, and it's gonna be like, damn, Kyle Trask, here we go. So Jimmy G, as much as a great person he's been in the NFL to get to a Super Bowl, to almost get to another one, to do the things that he's done so far. I'm sorry, it's just I can't trust his health, and to me he held back San Francisco. I mean, they gave the keys to the Mr. Irrelevant, and he looked way better in their offense against the veteran. So Jimmy Garoppolo's getting the boot for me. All right, 3 more quarterbacks: Tyler Huntley, Daniel Jones, Taylor Heineke. I know, man. I got you, bro. I've been on this shit.
I am starting Taylor Heineke.
I knew it.
I am benching Daniel Jones and I'm cutting Tyler Huntley.
Damn. You was just talking nice shit about Huntley early in the show.
I know, but like it's too small. It's too small of a sample size for Huntley.
I'm starting. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm starting Daniel Jones. Cannot believe I'm saying this. I'm starting Daniel Jones if Brian Daboll is his coach. If Brian Daboll is his coach, I'm starting Daniel Jones. Now, I'm benching Tyler Huntley, and I'm going to let Taylor Heineke walk because, I don't know. He's good. He's fun. Like Gardner Minshew, to me, they're the same people. they're going to be a career backup, and because they're going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick, like where they're always going to be on the football team because they're that good enough. But they're never going to win you a Super Bowl. Like, I don't think Huntley can win you a Super Bowl either, or Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones can get you to the playoffs. I know that. I don't know. I mean, Heineke, I don't know. But
too. Heineke got you to the playoffs.
No. Heineke played that playoff game. He didn't get them to the playoffs. He just played that playoff game.
And almost beat the Bucs.
Did well because nobody had no film on him. He did well, but they benched him for Carson Wentz. And that tells me everything I need to know. They actually benched this dude for Carson Wentz. And no, I'm sorry. So he's got to go. We've had all different ones, by the way, like every single one. All right, NFL free agency running back edition. Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders, Tony Pollard.
I'm starting Josh. I'm benching Sanders and I'm cutting Pollard.
Damn. We're gonna have another different one. I'm starting Tony Pollard. I like his elusiveness, and he when the ball's in his hands, that's 15 yards. That's just how I see it. If the ball's in his hands, he's getting 15 yards. So I'm gonna start Tony Pollard. I'm a bench Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders. I know that's my boy, but we not re-signing him for a reason. In the Super Bowl, he had 6 carries for 16 yards or some shit like that. That's not gonna get it done. And again, look, Jalen Hurts is to me the reason why Miles Sanders has such a great year because everyone's scared that Jalen Hurts is keeping the ball. So Miles Sanders was just getting through easy blocks. So, and I love Miles Sanders. You know, he did great for us, but he's got to get the boot for me. All right. Three more a wide receiver edition free agent. Robert Woods, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Alan Lazard. I'm starting USC wide receiver.
Lazard didn't go to USC, though.
No, but Juju.
And Robert Woods.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm starting Juju. I'm benching Robert Woods, and I'm cutting Alan Lazard.
I'll start Juju as well, even though he got on my shit list after the Super Bowl, like the rest of those Chiefs. I still haven't forgiven Patrick Mahomes, even though I love him. Still haven't forgiven him. But anyway, I'm starting Juju, though. I'm actually going to bench Alan Lazard and cut Robert Woods. Robert Woods starting to look a little bit older after that ACL injury. I mean, obviously, it was just Tennessee, so that sample size means nothing to me when Ryan Tannehill's a quarterback. No offense. We'll see where Robert Woods ends up. Did you hear anything about him, like where he could end up?
I haven't seen anything yet.
I feel like the Giants, maybe.
They said that it's going to be like a prove-it deal for him.
He needs to just go back to California, honestly. But he needs to show me, again. Lazard, to me, Lazard's a pretty decent wide receiver. But Robert Woods got to show me again that he can do it. Now, the last one, not football, New York Knicks edition.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
You know it was coming.
I knew it was coming. I know
Jalen Brunson.
I knew it.
Josh Hart or RJ Barrett. For the rest of this season.
Oh, God.
For the rest of this season to get y'all to the damn championship. You got to start one, bench one, and cut the other one.
Starting Jalen Brunson. I'm benching RJ Barrett, and I'm cutting Josh Hart.
That's Josh Hart, the reason why y'all good again.
I'm cutting Josh Hart.
Bro, you've been talking all this positive shit about Josh Hart.
But you know I'm a huge RJ Barrett fan. This wouldn't have happened without RJ Barrett in the lineup.
Damn, dog. You gonna just let Josh Hart just go like that?
Don't do this to me. That was hard.
You gonna let Josh Hart go like that?
I'm gonna let Josh Hart walk, man.
Wow. Hey, I'll bring him on to Philly. We might go undefeated for the rest of him in Philly would be perfect because he plays like he doesn't give a shit, and I love that shit. So yeah, I'm starting Josh Hart. Fuck y'all. I'm starting Josh Hart. No, I'm playing. I'm starting Jalen Brunson. I'm benching Josh Hart. Honestly, RJ Barrett just does not do it for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When he was coming out, I really wanted him to be like T-Mac. and he's not anything like T-Mac, and it pisses me off. So RJ Barrett could go for me, and that's all I got. That's all I got. Go ahead, close the show.
All right. You can find us on Twitter at fair_weather_pod. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Search the Fair Weather Podcast. And where you subscribe or listen to podcasts, you can find the audio there. Words of advice.
So I started watching Outer Banks, the new season yesterday. But there's a character on the show, Cleo. Man, she dropped a gem yesterday when I was watching. She said, feelings pass by like the tide. Bro, when she said that, I wrote it down in my notes. I'm going to say this.
I got it.
I'm going to say this tomorrow on the podcast, and I'm going to write this for a while, because every now and then your feelings may cause you to do something stupid. You know, your feelings might cause you to get into a fight. Your feelings might cause you to rob a bank or shoot somebody. And like, feelings may cause you to lose your job. Your feelings may cause you to, a lot of things happen based off of feelings. But they pass by like the tide. And no matter what, the tide's going to keep passing by. So don't let your temporary feelings control your overall trajectory. That's my word of advice, because feelings have done that way too many times. I mean, feelings start world wars. Russia and Ukraine is about to start World War III because of feelings. Oh, we want to get our shit back. Like that's all temporary feelings. Because once Putin is long and gone, it's like, all right, we go back to status quo. So don't let your temporary feelings dictate the rest of your life or your situation, the rest of your trajectory. Shout out to Outer Banks for that one.
I think that was well put. I got nothing to add.
Cleo, Cleo, she dropped a gem on me. I was like, damn, I gotta write this shit down. But that's all I got. Any words of advice from you?
You stole the show there, man.
Damn, I got it.
I'm quiet as a church mouse.
There we go. All right, y'all. Shout out to the Philadelphia 76ers. Shout out to LeBron James' foot. Shout out to Josh Hart, the real New York Knicks. Stand up. Is Charles Oakley back in the Garden yet?
I don't know, man.
Then screw James Dolan once again.
Fuck James Dolan.
Peace.